Pulling up, about to build our own spaceship. Look at this. This is insane. Make sure to stick around till the end of the video if you want to see how you're gonna rock a spaceship just like this one in no time. All right, man. The sandwich is hidden. We gotta try the ribs. Alright guys, so today we're going to be showing you how to make a auto landing, fully functional space carrier in Lego Fortnite. Travel all over the map, infinite amounts of travel. Trust me, you do not want to miss this video. Basically, first off, you're going to want to make a big flat platform like I have here. Probably about 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 3 by 3, but I did 4 by 4 just to be safe. I would highly recommend making a couple ramps that go up 2 or 3 rows just so you can get some elevation. It does make it easier to build once you get going on the ship. Just open your structures and you're going to want to start with the log pillar 02. So to get started, once you have that log pillar 02 active, you want to rotate it, and so those 2 bolts on the edge of the pillar are on the outside. So if your ship is here, you want those bolts on the outside. Basically, once you have that first one set, you want to move over on the grid about 8 spaces, 7 and 8. And then when you have it spaced out like that, you basically want to flip it around so the nuts are on the outside again. So now just like that, you're going to want to space them apart about 6 spaces. So we're going to replace this one just like we did the first time, 5 and 6. Place the space there. And from there, do 7, 6 and 7. Copy and paste the same thing on the other side. So we're going to rebuild these exactly facing each other with those 2 bolts on the outside of each pillar. When it's all said and done, it should look just like this with a total of 6 pillars. Make sure the bolts are on the outside and you should be good to move on to step number 2. So to continue on, basically you want to grab the next builds in the row is going to be the dynamic foundation. You can find that in the toys section of your build folder. You're going to see it right there, dynamic foundation. This is where we're going to get the flex wood. So this is why we need that flex wood there. Basically the 2 dynamic foundations are going to share a space right in the middle. So it does make it easier if you come over here, open the dynamic foundation and slide it until you can see it kind of taking up half of that middle pillar just like this. And when you place it, it should be evenly supported by all 4 pillars, except right in the middle, there's a little bit of a space so we can place a second one just like this. So to start building the ship, basically when you're on top of the foundations, open your builds, go to your building parts, and we're going to go to the fences. Alright, and now that we're standing on top of our 2 dynamic foundations, just open your build folder, go to the building parts. We're going to go find some fences, and you're going to want to scroll down to the rustic railing number 2. You have that rustic railing number 2, and you're going to see these 2 blue bolts on each side of the corners. Basically place this rustic railing right in between the 2 Lego bolts just like I did there. From here, to make it easy, we're going to do that same build again. Grab the rustic railing number 2 and you're going to go on the outside of your ship, but instead of placing it on the inside like we did for that one, place it on the outside just like I do here, having it drop down 1 space just like that. Now head back to the top of the foundation, and this time we're going to open our fences again, but this time you're going to use the rustic railing number 1 instead of number 2, so there should only be like 2 slots or 2 frames instead of 3 frames. Go ahead and grab this one, and you're going to want to rotate it this way and make sure to set it right next to the blue bolt on the opposite side that is in the center. So it's going to be right here just like that. Do the same thing on the other side. And for a 3rd time, we're going to be using this rustic railing. We're going to put it on the black bar right here, dead center, just like this. Seems easy enough. A lot of people do think this is going to be the hardest part of the ship, so pay close attention. All you want to do now is basically go back to the fences, and you're going to grab the rustic railing 03. Once you grab that, obviously it's going to be too long to go this way. You're going to want to rotate it so it lands perfectly in the center. And as you can see, if you're up 1 or down 1, it's not going to work. So you're going to place 1 there, you're going to place 1 there. And as you can see, it is perfectly dividing the center of the ship into 2 different quadrants. And that is exactly what we want for our next step, which is going to be the supports. So you're going to go to the building parts, you're going to go to the supports, and this time you're going to find the palatial pillar 01. So once you have this segment divided just like this, you're going to want to open your builds, go to the palatial pillar 01, and you're going to act like you're placing it right in the middle, but this time we're going to move to the right and we're going to place it actually kind of dead center in between the 2 zones. So it may take some time, it may take some work, but you basically want those 2 palatial pillars to be perfectly centered on either side of this divider bar just like this, and you're going to see why in a second. Make sure you like the video and hit that sub with notifications on if you're enjoying this guide so far. By the way, quick note, be careful when entering and exiting the ship, because if you bump the side of the ship, you will knock it off the pillar, and that's going to basically make you have to start over completely, so we don't want to do that.
Yeah, I need to go toward. Oh no! Pillars, but now it's off the grid. Oh,
oh Chad, no!
No.
Make sure you can jump on top of the pillar like I did. And from here, you're going to want to open your build foundations. So we're going to go to the builds, building parts, go to foundations, and just select the wood foundation 02. When you grab the wood foundation 02, just go ahead and aim directly at the other pillar that's on the opposite side. And this one may take some adjusting too. Basically, you're going to want to have it placed to where it is directly above the open cabinet that is in the ship. So as you can see, after we place the 2 foundations on top of the pillars, we are dead center, and it looks like it can fall perfectly in these little cabinets that we made for the ship. When you do that, you want to get on top of it, and we're going to basically want to do it again. Just stack another one on top of it like that, and a second time right over here on this one. So you should have 2 foundations that look just like this on the front of our ship. Alright guys, so this is the most crucial part of the build basically, because you are going to be putting on the thrusters, and you do not get your mats back if we break the thrusters. So you basically just want to be really careful during this part to go slow and make sure we just don't have to do any mess ups if we don't need to. Look for the large thruster, and that's where we're going to need those torches, those wooden rods, and the stacks of blast powder, because we're basically going to drop 2 large thrusters right here in the dead center of this edge. And then you're going to want to go to the other side and do the same thing on that outer edge, just like that. And once you have both thrusters in place, I highly recommend basically just building some planks or something to stand on, like this ladder or this wood plank, so we can safely break the pillar without being in the way of the thruster and the barricade little foundation falling down. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now, so check it out. And just like that, guys, the thruster falls into place on our spaceship. We secured the wood. It did fall really quickly, but we were able to get it. We're going to run it back on the other side. As you can see, we're going to knock down this pillar. So your ship should be looking nice and clean like this. You'll have 2 equal sides. Your thrusters should be there in place. Once you have it all set up just like this, I know it's going to take some playing around, but once you have it set up just like this, we are ready to move on to phase 2. We're going to go back to the toys, and we're going to be looking for the activation switch. So it's basically going to attach to any build. It's going to toggle on and off the dynamic objects, which would be our thrusters. So you're going to place that dynamic switch right in the middle of that left thruster, and then you're going to do it again on the right in the middle. So it's right in between the 2 sections there. We have our 2 switches. Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to set up some balloons. And so now that we're ready to move on to the next step, you're going to see that there's basically right where the center divider is, a good helpful tool is going to be looking at these 2 Lego pieces, these 2 little Lego nuts right there. Basically, you're going to want to open your builds, grab the small balloons, and you're going to want to go on either side of them like this, but you want to put it on the 3rd bolt out, just like that. Basically use the center gap of the thrusters as a guide tool, and you should know the balloons are in the right spot when they're on the 3rd bolt out and there's 2 bolts in between them. And after we have our 2 balloons down, we have our 2 switches on our thrusters. You're going to place one more activation switch, but this time what you're going to want to do is place it on the ground, just like this, anywhere on the dynamic foundation, I'm pretty sure. Put it right in between these 2 balloons, and that is going to be able to basically power our ship. That's going to get us going. We are ready to move on to basically the final 2 steps, which is basically going to go to the back. We're going to add our 2 large thrusters, so 2 more large thrusters in the back. I recommend just being dead center of those yellow hazard lines. Dead center of those yellow hazard lines. We've got 2 perfectly symmetrically placed thrusters in the back. We're going to place our bottom thrusters. So this is going to be super easy to place. Just open your builds, grab your large thruster, and you're going to basically want to start with the square, let's see, completely perfectly symmetrical onto the shape. That's going to be where we start from, and you're going to want to move 3 spaces back from this point. So you're going to go 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to place that thruster right there. We're going to do the same thing on this back side, but once it's perfectly lined up on the edge just like this, you're going to want to back up 9 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Once you've moved back 9 perfect cubes in the dead center, you can press place, and we are officially done placing the thrusters on our flying ship. And now that we're pretty much done, we just have to add the final piece, which is going to be the large balloon. It may stay stationary, it may start floating, but either way, this will be the final piece and we will be ready to fly our spacecraft. And there goes my thruster. All you want to do now is open your builds, grab a large balloon. Make sure it is on the center banister and not your thruster. Do not put it on the thruster. Your thruster will fly away. Make sure it is on the center banister like I have it right there. And to make sure you get it in the right spot, you can just bump it over 1 and 2. Just make sure it's not right on the fence. You want it just one space inside that fence right there. So go ahead and place it down. And I believe after we place this balloon, your vehicle may still be parked or it may start floating, but either way, that'll be okay. Let's hit the moment of truth right here. And there we go, chat. As you can see, are fully parked and ready to go. Let me know in the comments what you think so far, but it is about time to test ride this bad boy right here. All right, guys, we are ready for liftoff. I've got my professional pilot, Hand Banana Tree, right here ready to go. He showed me how to build it. He's going to show us how to fly it. And we take liftoff, chat, using all activation switches. We've got those 2 activation switches, as you can see, is helping him control the ship. And it is a self-parking, automatic parking machine. As you can see, you just slow coast to the ground. You don't want to be moving in too fast, but if you get to a slow enough pace, you can basically just let it slowly, peacefully fall to a park on the ground, just like that. So there you have it, guys. A flying, self-parking, fully functional, never needing gas, never needing to glide anywhere, never needing to use your grappler. We have permanent transportation, and all it took was a good little 10-15 minutes of building this ship. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. Let me know in the comments if you get this ship up and running yourself, and definitely subscribe with notifications turned on so you never miss another Fortnite guide ever again. Peace.